To begin our Robert Indiana inspired word sculptures, we will start by trimming our slab to the correct size using our slab template. Before cutting, double check to make sure all of your corners and edges are fully on your slab. Grab yourself a popsicle stick and hold it like a knife. Drag your popsicle stick through your slab while keeping it along the edge of your template. Make sure to keep a hand on your template so it does not move while you are cutting. We will place all of these scrap pieces into our extra clay bag once we're finished. Once you finish cutting along all 4 edges, quickly take your finger and gently smooth out any jagged or sharp edges along the outside edge of your slab rectangle. Next, we will use a texture mask to help us create 4 different rectangles of texture within our larger slab. Line up the edges of your mask with the edges of your clay slab, select your first texture, and press it into the area where your clay is visible. Before taking your texture all the way off, peel back a small corner to double check that your texture actually transferred onto your clay. If needed, just lay it back down and press a bit more, or if it looks ready, go ahead and pull it up. Remove your mask and rotate it to reveal a fresh, smooth portion of your slab. Then select a new texture and repeat. Again, I find it really helpful to take a quick peek and make sure your texture is good before lifting it all the way up. It's almost impossible once you lift it up to put it back down on the exact same spot if you need to. So it really does help to kind of double check before pulling it up. You will need to flip the texture mask over so you no longer see the words to be able to fill in your last 2 rectangles with texture. Repeat the same process until all 4 rectangles have texture. When you have finished adding texture, you might want to run a finger along the outside edge again to kind of smooth things out, and then it's time to clean up the texture table and move on to the coil making table. At the coil table, you will find a box of clay covered in plastic. Only take what you need to get started. If you need more clay, you are welcome to grab it, but if you leave a bunch of clay sitting on the table, it starts to dry out. So leave the box covered in plastic until you need more. Begin to roll out your coils and start to build and form your letters on your green paper, not your clay slab. Remember, we don't want to flatten or smush our letters down. We want them to remain plump little worms until it's time to attach them to our slab. If you feel like an idea you had for a letter is just not working, feel free to change it up. Your sketch from last time is just a rough draft. You can always make changes as you need to. I did not like the way my little loopy L looked, so I simplified it. When all of your letters are formed, it's time to attach them to your slab. If you just stick them on, they might stick today because the water is still in the clay, but when that water dries out, your pieces will just fall right back off. So we need to score and add slip. Score means to scratch, and slip is just really watered down clay. We will do both steps at once by using our clay toothbrush. Flip your letter over in your hand or on your paper so you are looking at the back side, and really scratch up the back of your letter. If your hands or paper get a little mucky and slimy, good. You need that slip on your letters. It's pretty much your clay glue. Once you've scored and slipped, firmly press your letter into its box, but don't over smush or flatten it completely. Once you've attached all of your letters correctly and you're finished, you will place your clay slab onto your green sketch paper. It should already have your name on it, and that is how I will know whose project is whose. Today we will place all of our finished clay projects on our drying rack and then get all of our tools and extra clay and our tables cleaned up and ready for the next class.